Women Innovators. Interviews with women with big messages and big missions, sharing their stories to inspire you to live your passion and step up to make the world a better place. Here's your host, Tammy Patzer.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited because today's guest is Jodi Vetterl. She is the author of the book Beyond the Bank: Success Strategies in Real Estate as a Private Lender. She has a 20-year career in high-tech software sales and has won multiple sales achievement awards. She's closed 7-digit deals and enjoyed several President's Club trips around the world. Ooh, I like that. She desired a career outside of corporate America, so Jodi spent the past 17 years building up a real estate portfolio in both the United States and Canada as a passive investor with such strategies as buy and hold single-family homes, investing in multifamily buildings in syndication, and private lending to active investors rehabilitating homes. As a result of these strategies, Jodi was able to leave corporate America and establish financial independence at the age of 46. And she has fulfilled her passions around writing, speaking, and consulting. She shares private money lending strategies in her book, Beyond the Banks, because she enjoys educating others with the resources and knowledge that have helped her create life balance in a more heartfelt way. Wow, Jodi, you're a woman after my own heart. Real estate and money and passive income. I love it. Welcome.
Thank you, Tammy. And we almost share a similar title in books as well.
Yes, Beyond the Bank. And of course, I wrote Beyond the Bestseller. And what I really am fascinated about related to you is the fact that you created this real estate portfolio in both the United States and Canada. So that's international real estate. And then now, and again, the reason I kind of chuckled a little when at your age when you did this is just because we're so young in terms of the success that you're showing, and it's really interesting that you've now you've created a coaching program and a course, and you've written the book and all of these different things. So tell me more about what you have actually created with Beyond the Bank.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's great. So, I mean, basically, I was a little bit of backstory just to kind of lead into that. Is that I was working in corporate America, as you mentioned, for a 20-year career, high-tech software sales, really enjoyed my work and everything. I had my baby in my mid-40s. So that was, my first pregnancy, and, my only baby. And I basically had a little bit of, having a baby in your mid-40s, there was I didn't bounce back the way that I was hoping that I would, or that maybe I would have had I had a baby in my early 30s or something like that. So when I went back to my job, and my job was really demanding, I just found I was having a rough time sort of, staying afloat and keeping up with everything, butted heads with a manager, and just kind of had to really take a look at the way that I was managing stress, managing overwhelm, and showing up ultimately as a mom. And so that was really at a point where I realized that I needed to make changes. And what came out of that was, there was a kind of a very significant moment that lit a fire under my butt so big that I just pulled out an Excel spreadsheet and I started laying down all my assets and figuring out exactly where my money was at, any debts, anything like that. And I called it a financial reality check. And what I realized through that exercise is that I actually had money that was, being managed by somebody else that was underperforming. And then I also had money that was locked up in equity that I just didn't even have access to it. And that was like multiple 6-figure type of money here. And I realized that with some restructuring, I could free up this capital and I could structure some of that underperforming stuff into stuff that was making and earning double-digit returns that was secured on title of a property. And it just gave me that extra collateral. And I was like, what am I doing? And so I'd already been dabbling in private money lending for, 3-4 years by this point. And so I called up the investors, the active investors. That's I call them the active investors. They're the ones that are going out there doing the sweat equity. They're the ones going out there and doing all the work. And then there's sort of active and passive, and I'm a passive investor. So I called up the people that I've been working with, and I said, hey, listen, like, I realize I can free up, X amount of dollars. And are you, do you have projects? What can we do? I'd be looking for a portion of it to come in as monthly income. And so we constructed something that worked for both parties. And as a result of that, I achieved my goal where I could say, I'm done. Goodbye, and fire my boss, which I did. And that was fantastic because it's really about taking control. And I didn't want to have somebody take my job away from me. I wanted to make sure that I was the one making that decision so that ultimately I could sit on a podcast like this and say, hey, I was the one that fired my boss. He didn't fire me. So I really wanted to take control of that. And as a result of all of that, I created this space in my life to be able to do other things. And when you're not having to worry about your finances and where the money is going to come in, and you have that coming in a passive way, then you're free to create and build. And that's what I did. And I ended up writing my book, Beyond the Banks. And then I also built a coaching program, and I did some one-on-one coaching with the curriculum, with the content for some time before I converted it into an online 8-week video course called Beyond the Banks Academy. And so I'm able to go out there and help other people restructure their finances and really kind of see where they can transform and so that they can, find the space in their life to do the things that, they want to do. Everybody's got passions and goals and dreams, and finances, they get in the way because we stress out about that. So it's nice to remove that element.
I think that's really interesting when you talk about that, because beyond the banks and the private money and that financial reality check, I think everybody should do that because, like you said, and it's interesting because how many of us actually have that story where here we are, we're let's just say, very smart, and we're doing something, and like you, that changing point in your life, of course, motherhood really makes you have a lot of clarity about what's important. And then there's that person, like you said, that manager, that somebody who's like trying to either micromanage you or they get jealous or who knows why, but they decide that you're the target. And they start to kind of undermine you. So I love the fact that you sat down and did this reality check, and then you were able to say to the boss, you're fired, instead of you waiting for them to undermine you until they were able to get rid of you, and then you would be all heartbroken. And this way you were empowered. And I think that's so important.
It's very empowering. And, in the end, the conversation was very much of, hey, I have to thank you, because your lack of leadership, or your poor leadership qualities here, has really made me realize that I'm done with working in corporate. And it's ignited me into other opportunities. And at the end of the day, I mean, he was just whatever. It was really, I think, the universe was trying to send messages to me, because I thought, oh, I can live with this. And then it kept happening. And then I'm like, nah, I don't think I can live with this. And then there was a moment. And then I kind of stretched it out, even though I realized that I had arrived to where my goals were. I still kind of stretched it out over like 8 months, because I wanted to finish up the year, and I wanted to, it was a big decision to leave a 20-year career. And really, I had to really come to the point, Tammy, where I had to believe in myself. So I kept saying, oh, I want to go to the sales conference and do a cut check. And then, the stuff with him was still happening. And then I wanted to, and then finish. And then it just came to a point where I was like, Jodi, do you believe in yourself? And that's really, and I think a lot of times when we, as entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs, a lot of times we have to kind of go through that journey to find that belief in ourselves that we can do this. And creating that financial independence, I kept saying to myself, well, Jodi, you're okay, because this is the money that's coming in, and it's okay, you can do this. And people, I constantly was needing that validation to know that I had something that could be useful to others. And if I had something that I was passionate about that could be useful to others, then I had something. And I did, and I do. And being able to help other people and help other women, and there's just something so cool about it. It's from my heart, so I'm going to get all emotional. No, I really love it. I'm very proud of where I've come, and to just have something from a seed and have grown it. And I'm actually, changing people's lives and helping people with these strategies. So it's very cool.
Well, I think that more and more people need these success strategies, and a lot of people would be interested in the real estate success strategies. But before we were doing our formal interview, we were actually talking a little bit about beyond the book. And this is something that you've also developed and that you work with people on. Can you tell me a little bit more about beyond the book?
Yeah, definitely. So I've learned a couple of these things from a couple of these ideas from my publisher, and he had this, this great concept of, funding a book and finding sponsorship. And really, what came of that was that, through taking that nugget, applying my, 20 years of sales, and also the journey that I've gone through with the book, and all of the elements that you need to have in place to be able to market the book and be successful with, building your brand and everything is very costly. And so I've been able to put together a workshop called Beyond the Book, where I can help other authors who kind of need that, that are looking for that financial support to fund all of these things that we need in order to actually get our book out there. Because as you know, Tammy, it's like you can build it, but they don't come unless you market it. It's not the Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner here. You can have the best book in the world, but unless you know what to do with this book and how to get it out there. And there's a process to that. And it's been a journey, and it's been an expensive one. And I didn't really, with my financial independence, I didn't take into consideration that I had no idea that all this stuff was going to cost the money that it cost. So being able to actually go out and find premium partners to partner with, where my readers were the same target audience as their as their customers, and really work together and collaborate. And we were able to find all these areas and different platforms where I could be advertising and supporting their initiative and giving them a lot of touch points with my students and readers. And so it saves them time. They're able to get nice sales, and people are already ready to go. And, so anyways, I want to be able to share that with other authors, because I want people to be successful. And if you've got a dream project, you've got a dream book, your masterpiece you're trying to write, you want to be able to focus and concentrate on that, not have to worry about, how am I going to market this? And, oh gosh, how am I going to run my Facebook ads? Those are, you really, it's all of this stuff adds up. So it's nice to have some funds to support and build and grow your business.
Well, I definitely hear you on that, because when I did my very first Women Innovators books, and I ended up with 10 volumes of the books, and everybody, we became international bestsellers, and then everybody was like, Tammy, now what? What do we do with this? And that's how I actually came up with the concept Beyond the Bestseller. So it sounds like your Beyond the Book and my Beyond the Bestseller actually probably are very complementary.
Yeah.
Each other. So we'll need to talk more about this at another time, but it sounds like they're actually complementary. So I wanted to ask you also about you're in a book project with Tam Luke, and it's Women Who Boss Up. Can you tell me what attracted you to Tam Luke's Boss Up project?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I stumbled across Tam in one of the women entrepreneur groups, or she stumbled across me. I posted something, and anyways, and I jumped on a call with her, and I just was instantly blown away by her experience and her knowledge, and the project that she was doing with these Boss Up books. And I jumped in, and I thought, the collaboration that I'll gain from working with all these other women and this network. And I mean, again, Tam is just a wealth of knowledge. She is so much. It's more than just like being part of her book. She's doing things to coach and share with us, like, different things that I hadn't even thought of or learned about. And so I'm constantly learning from her. And the women that are in the book, I'm just, as we're all getting to know each other, it's just a really nice thing. And when life comes back to normal, post-pandemic stuff, and we can all meet and do, a stage event and collaborate in that way as well, in person or retreats or whatever comes from it, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it certainly would. Well, I've interviewed many of the people in the Women Who Boss Up project, and they are, like you, all very phenomenal, well-spoken, very knowledgeable women who are experts in their field. So that's really interesting. So you have the Beyond the Bank, Beyond the Books. You do both one-on-one coaching and group coaching, and you have a video course. It's an 8-week video course. Is that on both of these concepts or Beyond the Bank?
So Beyond the Banks right now, I have both a Canadian version and a US version of my program. And that can be, you can go to Jodi Vetterl, JodiVetterl.com/free.
Free.
Yeah, free dash masterclass. And you can jump into my free masterclass and learn about, just about the concepts of private money and how to find some hidden funds and things like that. And then if you're interested, you can also book a consult with either myself or one of my team members. And, just going to JodiVetterl.com, and reaching out to me if you're interested in Jodi at jodivetterl.com if you're interested in learning more about the book, beyond the book sponsorship, or the funding program with the premium partners that I'll be running a workshop in a couple of months. And then, just on a side note, I also started a little kidpreneur program with my 5-year-old son, which again, when you have when you're not worried about finances and spending 40, 60 hours at work a week, you have space to create and do things. And that's really my big message. And having this kidpreneur program has been a lot of fun. We sell bamboo face masks, and he delivers by bike, scooter, or wagon. And then we also do shipping as well. But we do a lot of local deliveries, and it's fun. And we give to the food bank, and he gets to go down and learn about giving back and how it's helping other people. And just, it's a very nice thing to do and do with my son, and also my husband's involved as well. So it's a lot of fun.
So a bamboo face mask, what is that? Bamboo fabric or bamboo?
Bamboo fabric. It's made from bamboo, it's 95% bamboo, 5% rayon, and it's made by another kidpreneur who's 13 years old. Her name's Hannah Swan. She's an American, and her and her family, they've been digital marketers, digital nomads, and they live in Bali. And she was mentored by a fashion designer when she was starting at 8 years old. She has a little studio in Bali with employees, and she was doing high fashion. I mean, she's very serious. She's got 4 collections. She's done the fashion weeks, and she's basically when COVID happened, she shut down the studio because she didn't think it was appropriate to be designing clothes during these times, and then decided that it would be good to do masks. So then she could they're employing like 100 Balinese, and she's an environmentalist, so she only uses sustainable materials. She doesn't use dyes, nothing with pesticides. It all has to be organic, sustainable materials. And anyways, her name's Hannah Swan. She does beautiful work. I mean, it blows your mind. And so, and I've always been inspired to do something like that, to do a kidpreneur program with my son. And when I came across her and her family, I was like, this is perfect. And they had asked her when she was 8, not what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do now? And she was like, I want to be a fashion designer. So anyway, so I feel like we're working with another kidpreneur, and we're doing, it's just fun. It's just a really fun project. And I'm very grateful to have the space in my life to be able to do this with him.
Well, I'm certainly glad that you made that choice to go beyond the bank and beyond the book, and of course to create the kidpreneur programs. And I just learned something, because that's really cool to use fabric made out of bamboo and 5% rayon. That's something that most masks, they're either made out of whatever material, or cotton, I imagine. So that's a really interesting thing. So Jodi, before I let you go, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to buy the masks, jodivetterl.com /masks-USA or -CAD. And I'm just, really grateful and honored to be on your show. I honestly, I was watching your promo videos and all the things that you've achieved and done. And I'm just like, wow, I need to know this woman. Yeah, it's, you've got a very impressive, a history of things you've accomplished. So, congratulations to you on that and putting together this podcast. So,
oh, well, thank you so much. But I was just thinking that you really are a true woman innovator. And when I first imagined it, women innovators, leaders, makers, and givers, women who make a daily difference, guess what? There you are. So you really fit that concept, and it's interesting that how well you do fit into that exact what a woman innovator is to me. So again, thank you so much. And everybody go check out Jodi Vetterl, and it's JodiVetterl.com. And again, we'll have information in the show notes and the links, and you can check her out. And again, watch for Tam Luke's Women Who Boss Up book. It's coming out in August. So you'll be able to get a copy of the book and read more of Jodi's story. And with that, everyone, this is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to Women Innovators with Tammy Patzer. To learn more, please go to womeninnovatorsradio.com. And please do subscribe and share to spread the big messages and big missions to change the world.